The video game 4-hour rule. Ladies and gentlemen, I just had a minor tech scare. I thought my PC had died. Whenever I switched it on, some text would pop up on the screen saying, "Error loading OS." Obviously, that's no good. I was able to save my OS installation, but for a while I was faced with the idea that I might have lost a bit of progress and gameplay footage. I did manage to lose some of my Omega Labyrinth life footage, but that was probably user error more than anything else. My main concern was losing some of my Witcher footage, which, by the way, I've been playing The Witcher 1, but only uploading it to BitChute for reasons. Kind of got me thinking. I haven't actually really been enjoying Witcher 1. I mean, it's not a terrible game or anything, but there are other games I'd rather be playing. I'm near the end of the second chapter, which has been exceptionally bad. There's poor direction, unclear goals, and that may have worked for like a sandbox game or something. This is a story-based game, and if you don't give a shit about the story in a story-based game, it's kind of a problem. Like every time I log into the game, I have to double-check exactly what the hell I am doing right now, but anyway, basically the entire reason I was playing The Witcher 1 anyway was I'm trying to work my way up to Witcher 3 without, losing any of the major plot, but I could probably just go straight to 3 anyway, but yeah, whatever. I kind of want to see the evolution. I think I've played enough Witcher 1 to kind of see how it's evolving. I don't think there's really going to be too much story plot carrying over, but whatever. Anyway, so I've been pushing myself to finish it, just to finish the game, so to speak. I found I was actually a little relieved that I might lose some progress, because it would give me a good excuse to stop playing the game and just move on to something else. The next thing I was planning to do in the game anyway was just to run around and do some level grinding and money grinding and whatnot. So, with that said, that's not really any way you want to play a game, but my completionist urges were just kind of pushing me along rather than any real sense of fun. So, what do? How do I keep myself now and in the future from falling into the just finish it to finish it trap? Well, then it hits me. Just make a shorter term goal to complete that, and then decide from there if I want to continue with the game. Okay, so how about 4 hours? Why 4? Well, first off, I just like powers of 2, and second off, 4 hours does seem like a pretty good number of hours to play a game, I think. It's short enough that you don't waste too much time, but long enough that you get a good feel for it. There's also some games that are under 4 hours anyway, so if you devote at least 4 hours, you can at least get through some of those. But then I started getting the idea to make this system a little more complex. So the simple way is to basically just do what I say, just play a game for 4 hours, then at that point decide if you want to keep playing or not. Maybe, set another 4-hour waypoint in the future or whatever. But the second idea, so basically here's what you do. You play for 1 hour, then decide if you want to play for another 1 hour. So you play for that other 1 hour, assuming you do, which comes out to 2 hours total. Then at the end of 2 hours total, you decide, okay, do I want to play for another 2 hours? So you play for that other 2 hours, so you've played 4 hours total. But then you think, hey, do I want to play this for another 4 hours? So basically, every time you start off with a really short amount of time to kind of get a good feel for it, and you're kind of committing yourself to larger and larger chunks of time playing it, which is just, more complex for the purpose of being complex, but, oh, yeah, whatever. I like it. It's stupid, but I like it, and needlessly complicated, but hey, just tickles my fancy in just the right way. I don't know what to say. So, anyway, so I'll also throw in, a little allowances for, picking what time to stop playing, like different major waypoints in the game. Like, I might go back and finish the chapter in Witcher and whatnot, or like the end of missions or things like that. That probably makes sense. What I hope to accomplish with this is to actually sit down and actually play more games to a considerable amount, at least. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the first impression system I have right now, where I do like a 15 to 30 minute like first impression of a game. Then basically I use those first impressions to decide, okay, which of these games do I actually want to sit down and play for real. So if I start doing this 4-hour thing, I could be like, okay, I'll play this game for that, kind of, they kind of bubble up from just being on my backlog to being like, okay, which game do I want to play, the most at any given time. Then I just, put 4 hours into that and then decide to keep going and kind of get through a bit more. Am I making sense here? They can get more of my money's worth out of more of my games. Because you don't really need to finish a game to enjoy what it is you are doing, I suppose. But one problem I would have with this system is a whiskey problem, actually, if you could call it that. So basically, like I did for the past 2 years, I bought a bottle of whiskey at the start of the year with the goal of every time I beat a video game in this year, I take one shot out of the bottle. If I'm going to be not actually completing as many games, that might be an issue. But then again, the past 2 years, I really didn't have a problem finishing it, especially since there's some games that come out that are just like maybe 2 hours long or whatever. And I've been saying that counts. So I may need to double check exactly, reevaluate how I want to do all that. But whatever. We'll see how it goes. So, seeing as I'm making this video, I may as well go over my immediate plans. So, first off, I want to get into that new Wizardry game that came out on the 15th. That should be fun. I think I might stream that on DLive. And I think I'll try to use the complex, like 4-hour rule system on that one. And I've also got Disco Elysium. I got that for Christmas. I think I might try to just the simple 4-hour system on that. I think that's a shorter game, whereas Wizardry is the kind of game that you can just kind of sit down and play for hours and hours and hours, just kind of like grinding stuff out, whereas Disco Elysium seems like a lot more fixed story sort of thing, so maybe a lot more fixed time. So I think the simple 4-hour version might work better on that one. But yeah, whatever. We'll find out. Also want to play Omega Labyrinth. Jeez, I think I might switch out Witcher for Omega Labyrinth. I do want to get into Witcher and at least kill that damn Cocosidium. That thing's annoying, so I might do that. And on top of that, I've got to keep up with my buddies in Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter World. And on top of that, I've got some Elite Dangerous and Euro Truck and City Skylines that I'm just playing. I'm not really, streaming or anything. That just, playing for my own bemusement. But really, all of this video gaming stuff should be for my own bemusement. But anyway, I'm not even making money for this. It already seems like a job. God damn it. So yeah, that's kind of the system I have in mind and kind of my plans going forward. So yeah, basically TLDR here. Basically, so you sit down and play a game, you play it for 4 hours, and then at the end of the 4 hours, then you decide if you want to continue playing it, or if you just want to move on to something else. So it seems weird that I have to actually set up a system for myself for doing this, but honestly, the way I operate, if I didn't do this, I just wouldn't. I'd just keep doing like what I'm doing with Witcher 1, just playing it nonstop without like any idea of actually quitting until basically you just exhaust all of the fun you are having and you're just playing it for completionism's sake. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem. I kind of want to fix that, so maximize my video game enjoyment time. Yeah, that's a way to put it. So yeah, that is my plans going forward, and that's kind of the system I have in mind, and we'll see what happens with that. So till next time, Alita.